Travis Etienne was drafted in the first round as a running back by the Jacksonville Jaguars in the sole season of Urban Meyer's tenure, right after picking his partner in Clemson, Trevor Lawrence. Now, originally the pick was kind of sketchy, because when you have a second first-round pick and your offensive line was horrible, why wouldn't you pick more offensive linemen to help you? And why would you pick a running back, one of the least valuable positions in the first round, when you have so many issues on your roster, especially after the breakout season by James Robinson? It didn't go as planned, even with that plan, because, of course, Urban Meyer was kind of a failure as a head coach hiring, and then, of course, we had an injury to Travis Etienne, which took him out of the season entirely. So we haven't even gotten to see him as a professional yet, and a lot of people are already willing to call him a bust, but I'm not. Let's look at exactly what we can expect from Travis Etienne in his first year in the pros this year, because now there are 3 running backs who are going to be in consideration in the backfield. So how are we going to see him used to be worth a first-round pick, especially after a lost year? Let's get into it. What's up, guys? I'm Tyler Coker, and I'm your host for today's episode of Today with Tyler. I hope you enjoy. First, let's look at what the value Urban Meyer saw and what he was interested in when he called Etienne a third down back after the draft. At Clemson, we saw Etienne pass block to a proficient level, acting as an anchor in the way of free rushers. But we also saw value as a pass catcher. Etienne was considered one of the best pass catchers in the 2021 running back class, and he was often used as a quick receiver in the flat like most third down backs, which adds value since he has to make room next to James Robinson, who isn't known for his pass catching abilities. He also was used as a deep receiver in Clemson's system, proving that Etienne could be used as a slot receiver in the correct system, and he brought in value as a deep option as well as a check down, which allows Doug Peterson, the new Jaguars head coach, to be creative with the playbook, as well as provide a dual back set with endless possibilities. So the creativity with his third down back abilities that Urban Meyer saw is incredible. Now, let's look at the value Etienne adds as a runner. Etienne is explosive and tough, and provides the burst of a great running back one. He's a patient runner, but when he attacks gaps, he doesn't hesitate, slamming through defenders. He converts his speed to power, boasting top-tier acceleration that lets him take advantage of every single inch given to him by a defense. Once he has converted his speed to power, Etienne refuses to fall backward, always gaining an extra yard at contact before hitting the turf, or at least falling sideways. He consistently breaks arm tackles, but isn't a power back. He has the speed to be exotic and utilized as a weapon rather than just a running back. He still boasts a speed that takes runs to the house, smacking through gaps before beating entire defenses in a foot race, a rare combination that promises a wide variety of uses for Etienne. I honestly see Travis Etienne being a very powerful person for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They don't have a tremendous amount of receiving talent. They have some, but not a lot. And aside from James Robinson, they don't really have a deep backfield either. So what are we really going to see from him positionally, especially with the traits that we've been looking at? To me, I see someone kind of like Alvin Kamara and a little bit of Cooper Kupp. Now, don't get me wrong, he's not going to be Cooper Kupp, and he's not going to be an outside wide receiver. But you can expect to see him a lot in the slot, especially tight to the offensive line. And the reason why I compared him to Alvin Kamara is because he's so important to the offense. Kamara is used as a primary back, and while I hope we do see a lot more James Robinson, we still will see a lot of Travis Etienne because he's a talented back, but we can be using him in motions as well to get him in the run game. So putting him in the slot and putting him out wide, which is something that they do with Alvin Kamara, would unlock a lot for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Because just like that, you're using your running back as a receiver who we know can block because he's a tough guy who we've seen do all sorts of things. And then, of course, we know he can catch because we saw him do it all the time at Clemson. And then, of course, you add to the running aspect, and he's a great running back. So, looking at it, I do expect to see him get a lot of points, whether it's through receptions or through his running. I just know that we're going to see him get the ball a lot, and it's going to be worthwhile. I'm excited, obviously, because it's very important that the Jacksonville Jaguars can build around Trevor Lawrence if we want him to unlock his full potential. And I think Travis Etienne is going to be a very big part of that. He has the talent to be able to do anything he wants in the NFL, And I think Doug Peterson is smart enough to be able to unlock that potential and be able to put the Jacksonville Jaguars' skills finally together, since often we see a lot of talent go there and disappear completely. I do think he's going to be a good pick, and while a first-round pick was kind of a reach for him, the talent's there, and when you're watching the film, you can see why someone would want to take him with a first-round pick. It's just a question of value for the team, so I wouldn't call him a bust just yet. Travis Etienne has so much potential that we haven't even gotten to see in the NFL, and he's going to probably be able to do even more than he did at Clemson now that he has a full surrounding cast of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and this offense might finally be able to produce and be able to take advantage of weak defenses. So look forward to Travis Etienne, and maybe even take a late round wager on him in a fantasy league, because yes, he will be touching the ball, and yes, he will do good things with it. Thank you for listening, I hope you enjoy, and let's see what Travis Etienne does this season.